Get it way downfield, but he reminds me of the Mountain View quarterback. If he needs to go ahead and throw it, he's got that sneaky strength that can get it there.
And last week they used him in a similar way. He only threw the ball 10 times. He only completed 5 passes, 68 yards and a touchdown. They did a whole bunch of Houdini stuff to come out of that game against Summit with a victory. Summit, by most accounts, should have won. They outgained the Lava Bears by 120 yards. They ran 26 more plays than them, but they turned the ball over 5 times. And honestly, it's why Bend comes into this game 4-0 and not 3-1. The Intermountain Conference has a bit of intrigue to it going into tonight as we take a look through Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. The Mountain View Cougars are going to be hosting the Ridgeview Ravens, and Mountain View 6-0, 4-0. They sit on top of the Intermountain Conference. They've got a 5A best defense, giving up just over 11.5 points per game. Ridgeview, little feisty last week, but it's hard to believe that Andy Cotting's Ravens are going to be able to upset the Mountain View Cougars and really shake up this entire conference.
That is for a fact there. You know, I was telling Joe in the tailgate, other than speaking from my heart and picking us to be able to go to that state championship game, Mountain View has got a good opportunity. They are a very good football team, and I don't think that they're going to look past the Cotting Ravens.
As you look at the Intermountain Conference standings, Mountain View is on top. Bend and Hermiston come next. Bend is 4-0, so effectively tied with Mountain View. Hermiston 3-1, a game back. And then you get into the logjam. Summit is 1-3, and they are hosting 1-3 Redmond tonight. The loser is going to be out of any hope for the playoffs. The winner still keeps a glimmer of hope, and part of that is going to be determined by what happens today. Henderson Stadium, where Hood River Valley finally gets to play a home game for the first time all season, and they host the Pendleton Buckaroos. Pendleton's 500, 3-3, 2-2. They're trying to get into the playoffs for the first time since 2014. They've had some really good-looking weeks. They've had some really head-scratching-looking weeks. I think probably the biggest concern if you're Pendleton is running back Sean Yeager broke his fibula in the second half last week. He's done for the season. He was really your primary back, and so now they're going to be looking at Aiden Patterson and Kirk Limsom and trying to find a running back in what is still a pass-first offense over in Pendleton.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Pendleton there in the backfield. And in order for them to be able to compete throughout the rest of the IMC, they're going to need to have some sort of a rushing game, because if you just go passing, you know, we've seen that before where you can absolutely pin the ears back and just light them up and go after them from there.
So those are the games around the Intermountain Conference. And that's our look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard update. The captains are meeting at midfield right now, including the honorary captains that are representing Hermiston High School over the decades here on homecoming night. Kickoff is on the way. We'll have your national anthem here on homecoming night after this break on the Sway Motors pregame show on AM 1360 KOHU.
Yeah, we won the toss and deferred.
Okay.
Hermiston has won the toss. They will be deferring to the second half. Benden will be receiving with the clock.
Do you have the homecoming?
No.
The captains?
No. I've got their names here.
You do have their names.
Yeah. I wrote them down. Tubby
But there's one missing. Oh, it's Frost.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably have you show that to me one more time when we get a little closer. There are some number changes for Hermiston. They shouldn't impact anything till the second half.
Okay.
So we'll just have to see.
Good evening, football fans.
Oh.
Welcome to Kinnison Field for homecoming 2017 as we
national anthem by the Hermiston High Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Sean McClanahan.
Hermiston High School Marching Band with your national anthem. This evening on homecoming night, the marching band under the direction of Sean McClanahan. Hermiston hosting the Bend Lava Bears. For the Bulldogs, it's an all-purple top with black numerals trimmed in white, black pants this evening, and the black helmets. Bend, it's their traditional, and everything about Bend is traditional, to be honest. White tops, white pants, blue piping, blue numerals and lettering with a bit of yellow trim. By the way, here on homecoming night, Hermiston is honoring these captains. Representing the class of 1978 is Jeff Carper. Les Tovey, the class of 1988. Mario Ramirez of 1998. And from 2008, Bill Frost Jr., the first ever quarterback for me as a broadcaster here at Hermiston High School. Under David Lewis, then under Mark Hodges. Bend and Hermiston. Now it's just time to tee it up as Hermiston is going to give the ball to Bend first. Hermiston won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Bend is elected to receive, and they will attack towards the west end zone, right to left across your radio dial. Thanks for joining us here this evening on AM 1360 KOHU Hermiston, and we welcome you if you're joining us online at gohermiston.com. Bit of cloud cover off and on, rain showers today. In fact, there was a brief hailstorm. 48 degrees right now and cloudy. Not a lot of wind to speak of as Deshaun Neal has the ball teed up and he is ready to start us off this evening. Hakan Jelcevic is to the right, and it's going to be to him. Actually, come over to the left side, and it's Kyle Reed. Moving out to the right, out the 20-25. Outside the numbers 30, breaks another tackle to 40, puts his shoulder down, and runs over the top of a Hermiston tackler. Pulled down at the 43-yard line as he is tackled by Peter Earl. Peter Earl will be in the linebacking core along with Jonathan Hinkle. The Superman, which is kind of a nickelback strong safety, A.J. Tuya. The actual strong safety is Joey Gutierrez, and Deshaun Neal is the free safety. Yobani Rozone at one cornerback position, Tyler Rorman at the other. Keaton McCamey, Cole Campbell, Chase Bradshaw, Tyler Hunter. To be honest, Taylor Arnold, Bo Blake, A.J. Fernandez, Cody Weisner, they're all going to rotate in. And on the very first play of the game, we have a whistle and a false start of sorts. Not an actual flag-worthy one, but just hold on, everybody. We're not ready for play number one here for the Bend Lava Bears. They mark it on the 42-yard line. First down and 10 for Bend. Cooper Simmons is the quarterback. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He's 160 pounds, and he's a junior. In the backfield, Peyton Davis and Hakan Jelcevic, who takes the toss. Jelcevic running to the left side, trying to get out to the edge. He will turn upfield at the 43 and is shouldered out of bounds at the 44-yard line, gaining 2 yards on the opening play. Looked like Tyler Rorman was the one who helped Jelcevic off of the field.
Yeah, Peter Earl, the first one again to get there and make a little contact to make him change his direction, and then Tyler Rohrman finished him off. Good job of stringing that out to the side. You know, one thing that Hermiston has had a little bit of trouble with is containing and actually locking down the corner.
Reed, then Jelcevic behind Simmons, who's under center. Tight end to the left on 2nd down and 8. Simmons will play action, roll out to the right side, outside the hash marks. Now he's going to pull it down and run. Jonathan Hinkle can't quite grab it, and it's a shove by Deshaun Neal out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A 3-yard pickup for Simmons, and a 3rd down and short coming up for the Bend Lava Bears. Simmons will be throwing to Tyson Scott and Lucas Musgrave, his 2 primary receivers. And on the line in front of him, Carson Pies at left tackle, Patrick Davis at left guard, Carlos McBride the center, Tristan Guilfoyle at right guard, and Max Rustovich at right tackle. Play action again. Simmons rolling to the left side. Now he'll pull it down. He'll try to run right down Broadway and be pulled down just short of the midfield mark. In there on the stop is Cody Weisner for Hermiston, helped out by Jonathan Hinkle. And Simmons is going to end up 2 yards short, so it's a 3 and out as Hermiston gets their specialists on the field, and Bend sends out their punt crew. Tyson Scott, the junior starting wide receiver, is the punter, as we're 90 seconds into the contest, and Bend is about ready to punt it away from midfield on 4th down and 2. Deshaun Neal backing up inside his 15. Bad snap, time for Scott to pick it up and boot it away. Angled to the Bend sideline over on the far side. It'll roll inside the 10 and bounce out of bounds right around the 5. Hermiston's going to have 95 yards for their offense to go, but let's start with the positive. The defense did exactly what it needed to do on the opening drive.
Yeah, it did. It stiffened up, made sure that they sealed the corners, and that was where we were worried about, that they were going to be able to get out with their tailback of Jelcevic, being able to get that corner, or their quarterback get that corner out there, and Hermiston was able to go ahead and seal it, lock it down, and force them into hell.
A.J. Fernandez, Bo Blake on the left side, Jose Watto and Taylor Arnold on the right side, and Jacob Leby puts his hand on top of the ball as Andrew James in a shotgun set has his heels on the goal line. 1st down and 10 from the 5. Straight drop, quick throw, right side. It's Kinkle in the right flat. He picks up 5, and inside the across the 10-yard line, he's pulled down for the Bend Lava Bears by weak side linebacker Marshall Davis. Hinkle, though, gains 7 on the quick pitch out into the right flat. For Hinkle, not a ton of receiving yards this season. That's just his 5th catch of the year, and he's got 45 yards receiving. 396 yards on the ground and 65 carries and 5 touchdowns. Hinkle's behind James, pistol set, 2nd and 3. Hand off to Hinkle, right down Broadway. Hinkle bounces to his left. He'll bounce off of one tackler and now be stood up. Jelcevic leading the way for the Bend Lava Bears to the 16-yard line, however, and Hermiston will move the chains.
Yeah, nice job that running by that time by Hinkle for the 4-yard pickup and the 1st down of Hermiston's initial 1st down.
Andrew James, the junior quarterback, his 2nd year in charge of the Hermiston offense. A year ago, 1,931 yards passing and 18 touchdowns. He did, however, throw 11 interceptions this season after the pass to Hinkle on the opening play. He's got 122 passes without a pick. Play action, James to throw, looking deep, down Broadway for Neal at midfield. He's got it, nobody's there. Neal at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Hermiston. It's a 84-yard touchdown strike for Andrew James, number 12 on the season, and Deshaun Neal has touchdown catch number 8.
And there's the dynamics of Deshaun Neal coming in, and Andrew James was spot on. That's what he's been the last 2 games. He has been almost perfect and hit Deshaun in perfect stride.
Since the Mountain View game when he was 4 of 18 and threw for only 32 yards. Now, he didn't throw an interception down in Central Oregon that night. He has had a passing completion percentage of nearly 90%. Now, Neal, after the big run for him, will kick the extra point out of the hold of A.J. Tuia. Tyler Rohrman, the long snapper, good snap, holds there. The kick is up, and it will sneak through to make it 7-0 for Hermiston with 8:59 on the clock in the first quarter. And for the Bulldogs, it is a dream start to this contest. I intimated at it during the Sway Motors pregame show. Bend last week was lucky to get their win against the Summit Storm, a team that Hermiston beat pretty handily when the two teams met earlier this season. And so when you're looking at 34-14 at Summit on the road, Hermiston hosting Bend here tonight. Yeah, the Lava Bears have that 5-game win streak, but they needed 5 turnovers, a double pass to go 67 yards for a touchdown, and a wacky 2-point conversion on a muffed snap to get them into overtime and then get them the victory in overtime against the Summit Storm. If Hermiston comes in with their focus, they're truly the favored team here tonight. But that doesn't mean anything, what you think on paper or what I think in my crazy little head, until they start playing the game.
Well, you know, the nice thing is, Eric, we've seen it happen already. Their defense stepped it up, starting their offense, and now back to the kickoff for Deshaun Neal. Let's see if he can get this thing a little bit deeper and maybe pin Bend back.
If there is any breeze, it's to his back. It's going to bounce at the 15, take a high hop, and up to get it is Reed. Reed wants to go to the right again. He'll break through one tackle across the 30-yard line out at the right hash mark. He is wrestled down, and it will be at the 31-yard line where the Bend Lava Bears have the ball. It was Jordan Ramirez who made the tackle for Hermiston on that play. 8:52, Hermiston, 7-0 after forcing Bend 3 and out on 3 run plays on their opening drive. Simmons under center with an I formation behind him. Moves the tight end over to the left side from the right hash mark at the 31. Turn in hands, it's Jelcevic right up the middle. He will run into the linebacking core, and after about a 3-yard gain, be stood up. They'll give forward progress to the 34-yard line.
Andrew Earl, the first to make contact in the middle there, and then lined up and assisted by Joey Gutierrez and by Hinkle.
Second out and 7. Reed and Jelcevic dots the I for Simmons. He'll turn, fake a toss, hand off. It's Reed running right side of the counter. He'll get across the 35 and is hit from behind. And it was Cole Campbell who made the stop. No, check that. Wisner again in on the tackle to force Bend into a 3rd down and 4 to go. 3rd and medium for Bend is not really desirable, especially in your own end at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I was watching. You know, now comes the times where you might be seeing that little bit of a fly sweep coming.
3rd down and 4. Motioning right to left is Lucas Musgrave. Looking to throw left. Simmons now steps up in the pocket. Now he bounces backwards to get back out behind the line of scrimmage. Pulls back into the pocket again. Rushing out to the right side. Stepping up, and Simmons is going to be sacked over on the far sideline. Huge loss on the play. It was Peter Earl who read he could come and attack the quarterback and was able to make the hit. They will give Simmons the 30-yard line as far as forward progress goes. So the loss is only 5, but Bend is forced to punt again. Only about a minute and a half after Hermiston scored the touchdown to take the 7-point lead. Deshaun Neal's back around the 35. Would like to see him maybe step up 5 to 8 yards here, as Tyson Scott lets the punt away. It is a low end-over-end punt. We'll take a Bend roll inside the 40, down near the 35, and we'll keep on trucking down near the 33-yard line. That's where Hermiston will have it with 6:46 on the clock here in the first quarter. But the offense on the front foot after the 84-yard pass right down the middle. It was one of the areas of the field Hermiston thought they could attack in the pass game tonight, is to try to go right down the hash marks. Now, you wouldn't expect that the guy who ends up wide open is Deshaun Neal, Hermiston's target. His touchdown catch was his 43rd catch of the season. and he now has nearly 700 yards receiving. One of the top receivers in 5A, in fact, in all of the state. 1st and 10 from the 32, and turning around, handing off to Earl. Earl running left, bounces across one tackler and out to the left side. Right into the middle of the field, he'll work up to the 39-yard line before he's pulled down by a pile of white shirts led by Jelcevic. And that's one of the things about Hakan Jelcevic is he's a primary guy in the linebacking core and at running back for them.
Yeah, and that's if you're going to tire him out, that's who you want to go ahead and get tired out is their running back crew, because both of them goes both ways out here. Jelcevic and Peyton Davis, another one of the running backs.
2nd down and a 3 from the 39. James with a back to his left, that's Earl. He'll hand it to Earl, running right side, bounces back to his left on a jump cut, gets to the 41-yard line. Before he is pulled down, a 2-yard gain will leave him short of the first down needed for Hermiston. Marshall Davis is in there on the tackle. So Marshall Davis, Peyton Davis, and Austin Jones, your primary linebackers, although we're seeing quite a bit of Con Jelcevic tonight. Jacob Kappas and Mark Lindsay, the safeties. Tyler Mannix and Eddie Flores are the cornerbacks. Daniel Winters, Isaac Caldwell, Patrick Guilfoyle, and Jelcevic are on the line, although Jelcevic, who's been at defensive end, has actually moved off of the line here. 3rd down and 1. James has his back to the right. Now flag comes out, and it's delay of game on Hermiston. Too slow to get that play in. And we'll have the first penalty of the game with 5:42 on the clock in the opening quarter. And Hermiston in front, 7-0.
Yeah, that time there, especially one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to break up your momentum that you've got going right now, and with these little penalties, or that if we're waiting so long to get the play down from upstairs down to the sidelines, they need to speed it up and get it going.
3rd down and 5 to go for Hermiston. Motion out of the backfield. It's an option play right side. James is going to keep it running right down the middle. He's got the first down across the 35-yard line. He will drag his tackler. And Hunter Reinwald, the one who pulls James down, but not before he is able to scramble himself for 10 yards.
Nice job by Andrew that time on the design quarterback keeper, just straight out. Didn't have the read option. They were just going straight run for Andrew, put his shoulder down, picked up 10 on the hard run.
One receiver left, 2 to the right as Hinkle is into the backfield. Hinkle takes a handoff, running left side. Cuts right down the Broadway. He's across the 50. Breaks away. He's at the 30. Far sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5. One man to beat. Hinkle is pulled down, and they will say at the 1-yard line, Jacob Kappas, the free safety, making the saving tackle to stop Hinkle 1 yard from pay dirt. It'll be a 53-yard run for Jonathan Hinkle, who was just this close from touchdown 6 on the season.
Yeah, that time I would come right back and give it to Jonathan again, give him the play, give him the touchdown right now. He's got enough in his tank to go ahead and make this play, but they took him out, so they got Peter Earl back there with him.
Peter Earl standing. No, it is Hinkle. Hinkle takes a handoff, running left, stumbles, fumbles, rolls his way into the end zone. And the Bulldogs have a 2-touchdown lead with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Jonathan Hinkle from 1 yard out.
Nice job again by Hermiston offensive line. They are absolutely starting to move some people up front. You know, that on that long Hinkle run, all Jonathan had to do was key off of that left side, which he did very well, and then that opened the hole all the way through the secondary.
Extra point for Deshaun Neal. Tuya gets the hold down. The kick is up. It is true. 14-0 Hermiston with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU. From the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, 14-0. Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you as Deshaun Neal kicks it short. It will be taken by an up man. In fact, it'll be taken by a lineman for the Bend Lava Bears. Spinning around, running up the middle, fumble, and Hermiston is going to have the ball in Bend territory. Can't advance it on that fumble.
Why not?
By Riley Toman.
You can. You can return that. That was a fumble kickoff return. You can pick it up and go.
Well, the officials out of the Blue Mountain Officials Association disagree, and they're going to put Hermiston with the ball on the 27-yard line after the turnover by the senior lineman Riley Toman. Gives Hermiston a chance to add on to a 14-0 lead with 4:34 left here in quarter number one.
Did they blow an inadvertent whistle?
We have an inadvertent whistle while the ball was loose. We will re-kick.
That's exactly what it was. It was an inadvertent whistle while the ball was loose. So, as you heard, they will have to re-kick.
That's crazy because these guys, Hermiston recovered that fumble, and it should have been a touchdown. They can return that kick. Nobody should have been blowing a whistle down there whatsoever when the ball was loose. Yeah, the only time you can't return something like that is if you're the kicking team and you recover an onside kick. Then you can't return that kick, or the fumble, if it's fumbled forward, you have to be the one that fumbled it to be able to pick it back up and advance it. That's too bad.
So Deshaun Neal will have to do it again. Kyle Reed to the left. Hakan Jelcevic to the right. Jelcevic at the 9, Reed at the 11. Both on a hash mark. Gary Poston, maybe the most frustrated. Onside kick to the near sideline, doesn't go the necessary 10 yards, however. And it will be Ben's ball as it rolls out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Wasn't the worst of onside kicks as Deshaun Neal tried to catch Bend flat-footed. But now, this is quite a reversal of fortunes as Bend takes over on the 49-yard line, a yard into Hermiston territory. With 4:34 on the clock here in the opening quarter, and Hermiston in front, 14-0. Lucas Musgrave is the receiver to the right, Tyson Scott to the left. Tight end left on this first down and 10 play. Simmons in the shotgun with 2 in the backfield. Straight drop, look at a throw, set up a screen. It is going to be incomplete as Simmons spikes it into the ground. Keaton McCamey spikes him into the ground. Hermiston defending the screen to a T.
Yeah, that was a perfect job that time. There was nobody open. In fact, their running backs that were in the backfield weren't going to do them much good because they were behind the play the whole time.
Same setup with Simmons in a shotgun. Reed to his left shoulder. Jelcevic to his right shoulder. Simmons again to throw. Deep ball, right side, looking for Musgrave. It is going to be pulled in and out of his hands. Musgrave, as he goes tumbling to the turf, pinged off of Tyler Rohrman and lost the ball incomplete. Now 3rd down.
Yeah, that time maybe there was a little bit of a break for Hermiston. Ball was underthrown just a little bit, made the receiver hold up. He had a step on Rohrman out there, which is awful hard to do. And Deshaun tried to come over and give help, but was there just after Rohrman made the contact.
Homecoming night here in Hermiston, 3rd down and 10 facing Bend. They've gone 3 and out on their first 2 drives. Draw play, Jelcevic coming to the left side. He is caught by Peter Earl, who will stop him right at the 47-yard line in Hermiston territory. Draw play, not the worst idea there. Check that. That was Peyton Davis in for Jelcevic, but either way, it's just a 2-yard gain and a 4th down and 8 from the Hermiston 47. Means Tyson Scott is out in punt formation. 3:50 left in the first quarter. This is probably one of those times when you look for the potential of a fake. Scott, though, boots it away. Off the end of his foot, it'll bounce at the 20 and roll inside the 15 and out of bounds at around the 12-yard line. Hermiston with the ball in a 14-0 lead, 3:33 left in this opening quarter. Bulldogs looking to make it 4 wins in a row after their loss at Mountain View now a month ago. The Ben Lava Bears trying to make it 6 straight to start off the Intermountain Conference schedule 5-0.
Hermiston needs just to get back to business right now and letting that offensive line go ahead and take command of Ben's defensive front 4.
Andrew James will be in a pistol set with Jonathan Hinkle behind him. 2 receivers out to the left side. James slaps his hands together. That's a hard count. Now flags come out from the near sideline. Somebody moved. And it was Hermiston's offensive line that shook when the hands got slapped together. So 5 yards back on Hermiston will bring it to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, time there, just a little bit of a flinch out of the Hermiston tight end. And just enough to make this near side sideline official see it.
Cole Campbell's in at a tight end. He's on the right side. 3 receiver options left on first down and 15. James turns and hands off Hinkle, running to the right side. Hinkle put his shoulder down right into Marshall Davis, who pulls him down with help of 3 other teammates right around the 8. And it's just a yard gain for Hinkle, running outside to the right.
Again, nice job that time. The hole actually, unfortunately Hinkle was coming this way anyway. It was called a zone right, but the actual big hole was just off the center to the left side.
Hinkle to the left of James. 3 options to the left as well. James is going to roll that way, looking to throw. James will rifle underneath and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. It'll be a drop
like
for Joey Gutierrez. And now 3rd down for Hermiston. At a 3rd down and 14 from the 8-yard line. Would like a little bit of breathing room with the 14-0 lead. If they are going to have to punt, it would prefer not to have their punter in his own end zone.
Yeah, this is where Hermiston's just got to be careful they don't get too awful crazy with whatever play they run here. But it looks like they're one-on-one, and Deshaun
3rd down and 14. Straight drop for James. James, now he's going to roll out of the pocket to the left side, try to scramble out to the edge. He will skip himself away from one lineman and then get dropped by a linebacker. Spencer Steckman stepped up and decked James. And Steckman's tackle stops James at the 10, just a 2-yard gain. So Joey Gutierrez will have to punt out of his own end zone on this 4th down and 12.
That time there, Bend stiffened up on their defense, and Hermiston just, getting the 2 yards total offense on that because of the penalty.
Eddie Flores is the punt returner. He comes just onto the Hermiston side of the 50. As Gutierrez will kick one low and kind of shanked, but it will take a Hermiston roll across the 40, around the 45. It checks up and finally comes to rest where it's touched up by Jordan Ramirez at the 46-yard line. A 36-yard punt, and Bend is going to have good field position with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, trailing 14-0. Bend 3 drives, 3 punts. Cooper Simmons went out of the shotgun on the last drive. He's going to go under center here. Peyton Davis at a tight end to the right side. I formation, Reed, then Jelcevic behind Simmons. 1 receiver option out to the right. Handoff, Jelcevic running right side, trying to stretch the play out to the sideline, and he has stood up. Rorman stood him up, but then lost the handle. Jelcevic ends up gaining a yard or 2 from where Rorman hit him, and Atuya is there to finally pull him down.
Yeah, Tulia and Hinkle. No, Tulia and Wise.
Taylor Arnold was the second one in there, I believe. Gain of 1 on the play up to the 45. Scott Hammond, the former Bend Lava Bear himself, down on the sidelines on the Hermiston side. The defensive coordinator, second year in charge of the defense. Been here in Hermiston a little more than a dozen years now, half dozen years. 2nd and 9, handoff, Reed running left. He'll bounce back to his right and check that. Was it Reed or was it Davis? Looked like It was Reed. It was Reed to the 40, so 5-yard gain and a 3rd down and 4. You're probably in 4-down territory now.
Yeah, at that time he was taken down by Deshaun Neal, came up and laid the wood to him, a pretty good hard hit in there. And right now we've got Tulia just a little bit banged up.
A.J. Tuya down in a crouch like a catcher. Now he's up to his feet and walks towards Dr. Earl and Dan Emery. And Tuya, under his own power, is going to get to the near sideline. Andrew James will switch in. He is the number 2 to Tuya at the Superman position. But back to the thought, if you're at the Hermiston 40, 3rd down and 4, you'll go for it on 4th down from here, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so, being down by 2 scores. Even this early in the game,
Davis dots the I on 3rd down and 4. It is Davis coming to his left, bounces back to his right, breaks 1 tackle, and he is pulled down, but he pulls Peter Earl up to the 35-yard line, and 5 yards will move the chains for the Bend Lava Bears.
Yeah, that time there, it was a nice run by Davis, a 5. He just stuck his head down and kept going, and that was a nice 1st down for Bend. That actually, Eric, is their first official 1st down of the 3 possessions they've had this game.
Likely one more play in the 1st quarter, 10 seconds left. Simmons to throw, deep ball down the middle. It is picked off one-handed by Deshaun Neal at the 5-yard line. He gets up, he flings the ball into the air, and then jumps up to slap hands with Yabani Rozon and Joy Gutierrez. Neal somehow rips that ball away from the tight end, Trevin Reeser. An amazing catch by Deshaun Neal.
You know, he's been watching Beckham a lot. That was a Beckhamish type catch. Absolutely great job, controlled it, brought it down, and unfortunately did not get any return out of it, but what a heck of a turnaround.
So Bend threatening, gets their first down of the game. They try to pass on what you thought was going to be the final play of the 1st quarter. There's 5 seconds left as Hermiston takes over. From the 5, 1st down and 10. James takes a snap, hands off. It is Earl running left. Earl is caught immediately, and he's thrown backwards. A suplex tackle is going to be credited to Peyton Davis at the buzzer. That brings us to the end of the 1st quarter. 14-0 here in Hermiston on homecoming night. The Bulldogs have the lead as we go to the 2nd quarter here on AM 1360 KOHU. carry, 4 yards against Summit, but he did have 3 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown he caught was the 67-yard double pass that was thrown by Lucas Musgrave. First down and 10 for Ben from the 28. Musgrave will be the receiver, short side of the field to the right. Tyson Scott out to the left. And one-on-one with Yabani Rozon. First and 10, flip it. Musgrave, and around to the left. Musgrave is pulled down right in the hole by Jonathan Hinkle. Good open field tackle and no gain for Musgrave.
Yeah, that was those are the plays that you know you got to be ready for. Is that little bit of a reverse coming back the opposite way, and that time Jonathan Hinkle not fooled by any of the movement in there and took Musgrave down.
Are you moving? Athletic Director Larry Usher is taking our table now, and he's taking chairs, and there is a full press box here on homecoming night. Flags out on second down and 9, and Simmons holds the ball in his hand, looks for the umpire, and it's false start. On Bend, it's their first penalty of the night.
Five-yard penalty. Still second down.
8 minutes, 15 seconds left in the second quarter. And Hermiston's lead is 14-2. Bulldogs were flying high in the first 7 minutes of this game. Bend has been able to slow things down to, I think, what they would consider a more favorable pace for them. After the penalty, second down and 14. I formation behind Simmons. Toss play, left side run. Davis will put his shoulder down and right into Tuya he runs, and Tuya pulls him down. Maybe a gain of 1 up to the 32-yard line. They've kind of matriculated a little more than a yard on each of these plays, but after that penalty, it's a third down and
14.
about 13, 14. It's right in between.
Yeah.
I think the down mark on the far sideline is not quite where it should be. The tail of the ball's on the 32, so that would make it about 13 yards to go. Single man in the backfield, Kyle Reed. He shifted forward. Nothing came out for it. To throw, Simmons rolling to the right side. Simmons pressure to the sideline. Simmons will get it away, throw it into the hands of Joey Gutierrez, who picks it off. Down the near sideline he comes. Joey Gutierrez gets a block. He's at the 50, breaks the tackle. 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Hermiston. Joey Gutierrez, pick 6 for the Bulldogs, and he returns it 70 yards.
You know, Eric, that's the thing. You get into this thing, and Joey Gutierrez. Now we got a penalty flag on the play at the very end of it. I wonder if this is a celebration penalty or something. But
We have an unsportsmanlike foul on Hermiston that will be assessed on the try or the kickoff. You want to try it?
Will it be assessed on the try or the kickoff?
yeah, I think he's asking the question. But
That penalty then will be
68-yard return.
It's a touchdown.
So at the 32-yard line is where he picked it off. Not quite 70, but a 68-yard return. Deshaun Neal to attempt the extra point. It is through. Bulldogs will kick off from way back because of the celebration penalty, but their lead is 21-2. We'll be back on AM 1360 KOHU. in the clubhouse? Coming back. I'm Eric Olson. He's Sonny Leby on homecoming night from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left in the second quarter. 21-2. Hermiston after a 68-yard interception return for a touchdown by Joey Gutierrez. Out in front now by 19.
Yeah, and this is just where Hermiston's got to knuckle down now. And, you know, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. One with the safety and now with the penalty. And they just got to be careful. They can't be.
The penalty means that Deshaun Neal's kicking it away from the 15. He'll boot it deep, and it's Kyle Reed at the 26. Moving to the right side, he's at the 35, 40. 45, he's got a seam at the 50 into Hermiston territory. He is pulled down by Tyler Rorman at the 44-yard line. Ends up being a good return for Bend. 25 yards. Oh, there's a flag out right around midfield, right in front of the Hermiston bench. Well, this could go one of two ways. If I was a betting man, it's a sideline infraction, but it could be a holding penalty.
And Ben's moved back.
Oh, it's a block in the back.
On the return team, 10-yard penalty from the spot. First down.
So the clip is from the 49, and therefore Bend is going to start at the 39-yard line. So they being Hermiston, aren't hurt terribly by that penalty on the celebration after the interception return for a touchdown. So Cooper Simmons has thrown 2 picks tonight. Deshaun Neal's acrobatic as could be, and then Joey Gutierrez, the pick plus the return. Shotgun for Simmons, looking to throw, flag out near sideline. And it's going to be Bend moving backwards 5 yards on a false start.
Now Ben's a little bit out of their sequence right now, trying to hurry things up a little bit, and the quarterback actually started that count before he got everybody fully set, so he had a couple of people moving at the same time.
7 minutes remaining in the first half. Coming up on the Tom Denchel Ford Country Halftime Show, lots of things. First down at 15. Play action. Simmons rolls left, lobs it into the flat. Reed has it on the far sideline at the 40. Near the 45 is where he stood up. And to the 44-yard line he runs. 5-yard gain.
Number 21 on
10-yard gain.
Oh, that's right. There was a 5-yard penalty. 10-yard gain. And a second down and 5.
Good job that time by the Hermiston defenders on the outside. Hinkle getting out there and getting it in, cutting it back in.
Luke Walshley still being attended to by Dan Emery back behind the Hermiston bench. They've finished their conversation. Simmons rolling right to throw. On 2nd and 5, deep ball down the field, over the top of everybody. Tyson Scott has it. He's behind Razone. Tyson Scott runs away from Razone into the end zone. It's a 56-yard touchdown for the Bend Lava Bears.
And it could turn that quickly if you don't stay on the hip. And that time, again, I talked earlier about how this Bend quarterback being a sneaky arm out there. Hermiston allowed the defender to get past him, squared up his hips, and was able to go ahead and complete that for 56 and a TD.
Simmons with the touchdown pass. Now Andy Emerson on for the extra point out of the hold of Eddie Flores. It is good. 6:03 left in the second quarter. Hermiston 21, Bend 9. The Lava Bears are not going to go quietly into the homecoming night. We'll be back on AM 1360 KOHU. From the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you as Hermiston's lead is now down to 21-9. Andy Emerson has it teed on the left hash mark at the 40 to kick it away. Low line drive, a bounce about the 25. Be picked up by Tyler Rurman at the 15. Tyler Rurman at the 20. He's got to see him. He's at the 30. Bounce to his left and is pulled down at the 35-yard line. And Hermiston's offense is back onto the field. Feels like a lot has happened without the offense on the field because of the pick six and then a Bend touchdown to answer right back. 21-9 is the Hermiston lead. This all started with a Deshaun Neal 84-yard touchdown reception. Jonathan Hinkle's pounded one in from 1 yard out. Neal's got an interception. Joey Gutierrez has the pick six. Just now, Tyson Scott, 56 yards from Cooper Simmons to get Bend back to within reaching distance. Drop ball far sideline. In and out of the hands of Mr. Gutierrez.
Nice pass that time. Joey just looked upfield right before the ball got there. He had a lot of yards to go because he had a blocker one-on-one with the man out, and Joey's man was a good 12 yards deep in that Bend secondary.
Garen Anderson, the senior back, is in the backfield with Andrew James, two receivers each way. Flag out from the near sideline on the 2nd and 10, and Hermiston is going backwards 5 yards on a false start penalty. 5 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Hermiston's lead is right now 21-9. Penalty moves the ball back to the 30-yard line where they'll have a 2nd down and 15.
Hermiston's got to right their ship right now. They've sputtered a little bit in this second quarter after, other than the interception return. They've got to get their momentum going again.
James to roll left, looking to throw, time to throw.
Ooh.
And then he stood up, he bounces off of a tackler and is pulled down. He bounced off but could not get away. And the sack is going to be credited to Daniel Winters, the defensive end. He had Deshaun Neal, he just didn't throw it. Near sideline, it was kind of a slow developing route, a wheel route around an around the outside receiver. They kind of crossed real early and Neal was out to the sideline. James just couldn't get himself in a position where he could step into the throw. So the loss brings it all the way back to the 23-yard line. 3rd and a country mile. James rolling right to throw. Now he slows up. Now he comes back near sideline. And James is tripped up, closing him out on the play. Jelcevic and eventually credited with the tackle, Spencer Steckman. James are just a 4-yard gain, and the punt team's going to have to come out on a 4th down and 18. 4.5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, the offensive line right now, Eric, is getting beat off the ball. In fact, they're coming over almost walking off the field, and they've got to get their act together, and otherwise Hermiston's going to have a little bit more trouble tonight.
Eddie Flores back to receive at about his own 35. Joey Gutierrez under some pressure, gets the kick away. At a bounce at the 45, inside the 40, inside the 35, takes a Hermiston roll across the 30, down inside the 25.
Nice
that one
kick.
rolled about 20 yards after it bounced initially. And it's all the way down to about the 22-yard line where Hermiston will send the defense back out to try to stop Bend quickly and add on to their 21-9 lead with 4:02 left in the first half. Said plenty coming up at halftime. We will talk to Reed Middleton, who's part of Hermiston's ASB. It's homecoming week. We always like to check in with the ASB to see what this week has entailed for the school. Rich Harshberger, the head coach of the Hermiston boys soccer team, will be part of our halftime coverage as well. We will try to get that recorded interview from last night over the top of the fireworks, which are probably about 20 minutes away, folks in the West Park area. Simmons, play action, straight drop, looking to throw left side. Now he steps up into the pocket and he is pulled down. It will be kind of a team sack there. Arnold in with McCamey.
Yeah, McCamey on the initial hit to get it there with Arnold in the assist on it. Gets a 4-yard loss that time for Simmons.
Second down and 14, back to the 18-yard line. Lucas Musgrave to the near sideline. Tyson Scott, who caught the 56-yard touchdown pass wide to the left. Tight end right, 2 in the backfield, shoulder to shoulder with Simmons in the shotgun. To throw, deep ball, far sideline. Jump ball for Scott, over his shoulder. It is caught, and Scott is shouldered out of bounds into Hermiston territory around the 46-yard line, they will say. There is a flag out on the play. A lot of hand fighting as the two came up the field. The back judge will now run back towards the white hat to tell him offense or defense. I think it's going to be against Hermiston.
Defense, that penalty is declined. First down, White.
That's the case. So Bend will have the big pass catch up to the 46. And now they've got it in Hermiston territory. 3:14 left in the second quarter. Essentially, it's just jump balls to Scott, who's a 6'2", 195-pound junior receiver. First and 10. The backs split out to the left and right. Empty backfield for Simmons in his shotgun. Looking to throw, right side, quickly, out into the flat. Bobbled, and Peyton Davis can never catch it. Finally closing him out. Earl got there to make sure that it would end up as a drop.
Boy, Eric, that time there they had another opportunity. Hermiston is allowing, the Bend receivers to go ahead and get into their cushion, and they're not closing it out. When you get into a defender's cushion like that, they've got you sewed up because now the ball is there, and you've got to be able to make a great play to stop the receiver.
Second down and 10 from the 46 in Hermiston territory. Again, an empty backfield. 2 receivers left, 3 out to the right side. Simmons, straight drop. Looking left, flag out near sideline. And David Faitete in the ear of the line judge on his side. Maybe talked him into that false start penalty. A movement from one of these receivers on the near side in this 5-out formation. Moves it back onto the Bend side of the 50 at the 49-yard line.
That's Ben's 4th penalty, all in the second quarter here now, for a total of 25 yards in penalties.
3:06 left in the second quarter. 21-9 Hermiston. Simmons again, this empty backfield. Receivers right and left. Deep ball looking for Musgrave. Too far, incomplete. On the play, Tyler Rorman was defending Musgrave. So Scott's a big receiver at 6'2", 195. Musgrave's 6'4", 195. They're both juniors. Simmons is a junior as well. This Bend team has a bundle of weapons, especially when you look at moving forward into the 2018 year when they're up at the 6A level in the Greater Valley Conference. I suppose that's not official yet. Kyle Reed is the man in the backfield on 3rd down and 15. Simmons under center. Now he'll roll out to the right, looking to throw. Stretching to the near sideline. Thought about pulling down. He'll throw deep ball. Jump ball. Musgrave pulls it down and away from Deshaun Neal, who was on the way, hunting for another interception. Musgrave is in bounds at the 25-yard line, and it's a first down for Bend.
26-yard play that time by Ben for another first down, Eric. And like I said, Hermiston's going to be in trouble. Ben's going to try and exploit this for everything we've got. They're just going to try and throw it up for a jump ball. And until we learn to not give up that cushion, then we're going to be fighting with the bigger receivers.
First down and 10 from the 25. Simmons draw play up the middle for Marshall. And Marshall Davis is pulled down after he scampers to the 20, gaining 5. Boy, for Bend, they like having Marshall Davis back there in the backfield. Although what it has meant is that we've seen very little of Hakan Jelcevic. Deep ball thrown out near sideline, incomplete. Flag comes out. No, it is caught in the end zone by Tyson Scott, but Scott went right over the back of the defender on an underthrown ball. They say pass interference on Hermiston.
Wow.
"20-yard touchdown pass." Scott's got his second touchdown catch of the game. He had the game-winning touchdown catch, almost the same distance last week in overtime against Summit.
On the defense during the touchdown, that penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Huh? That's a decline penalty.
They said that'll be enforced on the kickoff. David Fai-Tete wants an explanation, but Andy Emerson is out to kick this ball. The extra point out of the hold of Eddie Flores. Kick is up. It is true. 2:21 left in the first half. 21-16 is the score.
Luke Walshley, Desert View Elementary.
Cole Campbell, Highland Hills Elementary.
AJ Tuya, Highland Hills Elementary School.
Keaton McCamey, Rocky Heights Elementary School.
Jordan Ramirez, Sunset Elementary.
Cody Wisner, Ebner Elementary School.
Bo Blake, West Park Elementary.
Tyler Hunter, Highland Hills Elementary School.
Jose Wata, Sunset Elementary School.
Peter Earl, Highland Hills.
Chase Bradshaw, Desert View Elementary School.
AJ Fernandez, Sunset Stars.
Deshaun Neal, Highland Community Charter School. Go Cards.
Joey Terrace, D, Highland Hills Huskies.
Thomas McCullough, West Park Elementary. Go Wildcats.
Jacob Levy, home with the Desert View Coyotes.
Andrew James, Rocky Heights Elementary.
My name is Taylor Arnold, and I went to...
Put it that way. And the defense, Eric, and like I said, we're going to have trouble because Bend will exploit this for the rest of the night. They know we're allowing them to cushion up on us, and their bigger receivers are going after the football when we're trying to play the man.
Kick return for Deshaun Neal to the right and Yabani Razone to the left. Both stand at about the 10-yard line as Andy Emerson will put it on the tee, this time on the right hash mark. 2:21 left, and it's 21-16 Hermiston. As we look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard, 46-0 Vale hosting the Umatilla Vikings. Low bounding ball. Tui has it bounce off of his body and sliding in and picking it up. The Bend Lava Bears have recovered. Jacob Kappas is able to slide onto the ball at the 26-yard line, and it goes from bad to worse for Hermiston. A turnover again, this time on the kickoff, and with a ball at the 26-yard line, Bend is going to take over down by just 5.
Can you say momentum has changed drastically? And Hermiston right now has got to figure this thing out. If they're going to play man-on-man, then they're going to have to change up how they're playing man-on-man.
First down and 10 from the 26-yard line in Hermiston territory. Attacking the east end zone towards Hermiston High School. Simmons takes a snap, looking to throw. Pump fakes, throws deep towards the end zone. Deshaun Neal comes over and he bats the ball away as he came across to help out as Tyler Werman was defending Lucas Musgrave.
And Eric, I won't harp on that, but we are continuing to allow them to get the step on the outside of our hip, so they've got the advantage for the football.
Musgrave and Tyson Scott will go wide to the left side. Kyle Reed will join them out that way. Peyton Davis behind Simmons in the backfield. He's under center. Simmons, the junior quarterback, takes a snap, flag out far sideline.
Offsides, Hermiston.
And it's Hermiston offsides. It's going to move Bend to the 21-yard line. 2:12 left in the first half. Bend down by just 5 at one time. This was a 21-2 Hermiston lead. Bulldogs offense has been stagnant since the 5-minute mark in the first quarter when Jonathan Henkel pounded in a 1-yard touchdown run. Their scoring here in this quarter was on Joey Gutierrez's 68-yard interception return for a score.
Yeah, right now Hermiston's defensive line is kind of what is giving, Ben Cooper Simmons all the time in the world to go ahead and get himself set up or roll out, because we're not getting any pressure whatsoever on the quarterback now.
Second down and 5 to go from the 21. Simmons under center with an I formation behind him. Turns and hands off to Peyton Davis. Davis running to the left side. Trying to go out to the edge. He runs right into Tyler Rorman, who will pull him down at the 18-yard line, a gain of 3. Flag out late on the play for some off-ball jockeying between Musgrave and one of the defensive backs. We'll see who gets tagged for this penalty. You're listening to Homecoming Night on AM 1360 KOHU Hermiston and GoHermiston.com. The Bulldogs hosting the Ben Lava Bears.
Personal foul, number 28 on the defense. Behalf the distance.
Jonathan Hinkle is called for a personal foul.
Wow.
And so it'll be half the distance to the goal line. Move it down to the 9-yard line. With 2:02 left in the second quarter, first down and goal for Ben, down 21-16. Musgrave wide to the left side. He'll be the lone man out in the formation. Full house backfield behind Simmons as he goes under center with 3 backs behind him. Jelcevic is back in there. And it'll be Jelcevic running to the right side. Protects the ball well, puts his shoulder down, runs to the 5-yard line. That's where he stood up, gaining 3 on the play. They put those 3 guys in the backfield there. And they run that full house lead. Max Ariano is a senior. 5'8", 175. He's right in the middle. Peyton Davis to his right shoulder. Hawk and Jelcevic to his left shoulder. Simmons under center, second and goal from the 5. Turn in hand, this time it's Davis. Going left, jump steps back to his right, gets inside the 5, out at the left hash mark is where he runs into a pile of purple shirts and is pulled down. Jonathan Hinkle is in there along with Keaton McCamey on the stop.
And that's something he actually, they were able to hold that to a 1-yard gain that time. Hermiston's just got to stiffen up right now.
Third down and goal from the 4. Simmons to throw, rifles it left side at the goal line, caught by Scott.
Penalty flag down in it's holding on Ben.
Tyson Scott in a one-on-one squared out right to the post. It's all going to be for naught because of the penalty.
And that's going to be a long penalty because that penalty flag was thrown. Oh, they called it illegal shift.
Penalty from the previous spot. Repeat third down.
Well, either way, it's going to hurt him a little bit there.
So Ben wants to call a timeout with 43.9 seconds left in the first half. Trailing Hermiston 21. At the halftime break, down in Echo. Vale in control, hosting Umatilla. Also in the Eastern Oregon League tonight, Irrigan went to Nissa. Riverside is at Burns. The Intermountain Conference sees Mountain View hosting Ridgeview tonight, and Redmond is at Summit, while Pendleton has gone to Hood River Valley. During the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show, we'll compile some scores for you. Tell you what's going on around the state tonight. Last night in 5A, It is a statewide in-service day, so some of the schools played yesterday. The Northwest Oregon Conference saw Sandy beat Putnam 51-6. Wilsonville all over Parkrose 43-0. 3rd and goal from the 9. Simmons tosses it right side. Musgrave looking to throw to the goal line. He will throw it, and a sliding catch by Deshaun Neal picks it off. The umpire says it hit the ground. The side judge says it was an interception.
I think they're going to have a little bit of discussion because, no, there will not be any discussion. Well, they are going to
Not the umpire, but the back judge.
You know, and the guy that was 2 yards away from the play actually had the best view of it.
So an incompletion means it's 4th down and goal from the 9 with 36 seconds left. In range for Andy Hermiston. He can make this a 2-point game. We have a considerable bit of delay here, and it looks like
official.
We have an official equipment problem. The voice box is apparently gone sideways or in somehow awkwardly sitting in the belt of the white hat.
And they are going to go for a field goal here.
Emerson will kick it out of the hold of Eddie Flores. Marshall Davis is the long snapper. It'll be on the 16-yard line left hash mark, so a 26-yard try. About a half minute left before halftime. Plenty of distance, and it's through. Emerson makes it 21-19. It has been all Bend here in the second quarter, with the exception of the Joey Gutierrez interception return for a touchdown. Bend has this to a 2-point game.
Yeah, Eric, Hermiston's got to figure something out right now, whether they want to play this game or not. We've been absolutely owned on the defensive line completely, and which is allowing Cooper to go ahead and Simmons to go ahead and have a little bit of time to roll out to make these passes. And then our defensive backs have got to do something. They cannot run stride for stride. They're short.
Now, the last kickoff was short, and A.J. Tuya muffed it. Bend recovered it. They're able to convert that turnover into 3 points.
I would almost watch for an onside kick with only 36 seconds left.
Andy Emerson, the right-footed kicker. He of the lime green shoes. Approaches, and he will boot a bounding ball. Picked up early and falling down at the 38-yard line. For the Hermiston Bulldogs,
26.
It will be Miguel Franco who picks up the ball. No return for Franco, 34.9 seconds left. Now Hermiston does have a full complement of timeouts, so they can try to put some points on the board here before they go to the locker room.
Now let's just see if this Hermiston offensive line can get things moving again. Right now, when you get schooled.
1st down and 10 from the 38. James slaps his hands together. 3 receiver options right. He's rolling that way. Time to throw. Now we'll dump it off underneath. Incomplete. Coming underneath, it was Hunter Reinwald who upended Tyler Rorman. And the incompletion will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Just Andrew's 3rd incompletion of the night. He is 3 of 6 on the night for 96 yards in this first half so far.
Bulldogs just haven't had the ball offensively.
No, they have not. And, you know, when they do get the ball offensively, they're not getting it downfield.
2nd and 10. Hinkle motioned out of the backfield to the right. Fake to him. Throw near sideline. Tipped up in the air. Jelcevic picks it off, and he's got it at the 28-yard line. It was a screen coming near side to Tyler Rorman. Hakan Jelcevic read it perfectly, jumped up, batted the ball from Andrew James, and it's his first interception since week 1 of the season. James had thrown 127 consecutive passes without an interception, and it took a great bit of recognition by Jelcevic to knock that one down and give Bend the ball with 24 seconds left and 2 timeouts, down by 2 at the 28-yard line. Watching Hermiston in pregame, I would think they are about 7 yards away from trying a field goal, and realistically still about 13 yards away from being in range.
So what are they discussing now?
Let's, while we're waiting for some explanation from the officials, look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. And at halftime, it is Pendleton 7, Hood River Valley 6. No blood either way in the second quarter at Henderson Stadium in Hood River. Winner of that game is still in position for 4th place in the IMC. First down and 10 after the Jelcevic interception. Deep ball for the end zone. It is in and out of the hands of Lucas Musgrave, incomplete.
Deshaun Neal that time came away to separate that ball. That he actually had the 6, and Deshaun was able to knock the ball loose.
And as they walk back to set back up, it was Jonathan Hinkle who said something to the back judge, and I would imagine something along the lines of Musgrave can't push Tyler Rohrman in the back. That's pass interference on the offensive side. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Simmons to throw. Looking deep, left side this time. He will try for Scott, who falls down, incomplete. Scott was locked up in coverage on that play with Jordan Ramirez.
For number 32.
Scott has 3 touchdowns in this game. Check that, 2 touchdowns in this game. The third one was wiped off by the illegal shift. 12 seconds left for Bend, 3rd down and 10 from the 28. They still have 2 timeouts left. Keep that in mind, by the way, on something like draw. Simmons has Kyle Reed to his right shoulder, 2 receivers each way. The junior quarterback for Bend takes a snap. Hermiston rushes 4 to throw. Left side, square out route, nobody's there. Hits the 10-yard marker on the sideline. Incomplete, brings up 4th down and 10. And are they going to let Hermiston try this one? I don't think so. They're too far away for Emerson's leg. You'd be looking at a 46-yard field goal. And so they will, with 7.1 seconds left in the first half, huck one more down towards the end zone.
Well, they got who they want. They're going to go to the wide side of the field with Musgrave, but watch the tight end, number 32, on that. He does a great job, Tyson Scott, of following in underneath where Musgrave clears out.
Timeout for Bend. Play took a little while to get in. Matt Craven, the 6-year head coach, and his team. Talking about this game, Craven told the Bend Bulletin's Grant Lucas. Quarters yet. Tonight's not going to be any exception because this quarter has been all Bend.
Yeah, I mean, we put together a good first quarter. The interception return for the touchdown by Joey in the second quarter. So we played a quarter of football so far tonight.
4th down and 10. Yardage doesn't really matter with 7.1 seconds left. Simmons under center. Jelcevic behind it. Simmons rolls out to the left side. He is blitzed. He is tripped. He is dropped around the 35. And that will be the last play of the first half. The sack will give Hermiston a 21-19 lead as the teams head into the locker room. Homecoming halftime means it's a little bit extended. We will come back right here to our Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth as we start the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show after this on AM 1360 KOHU.
Good thing. It's the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show from Hermiston High School's Bulldog Stadium down on Kennison Field. They're bringing out the homecoming court with Hermiston and Bend in the locker rooms. Bend feeling pretty good about their situation now, much better than they were about 30 minutes ago. 21-19, Hermiston does lead as the teams enter into the locker room. It was an 84-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Andrew James to Deshaun Neal after Hermiston forced a 3-and-out on Bend's opening drive of the game to make it 7-0. For James, it was touchdown pass number 30 of his career, and he brought his career total to over 3,100 yards passing. Deshaun Neal, it was career touchdown catch number 20. He's caught 20 of James' 30 touchdowns that he's thrown in his career. Jonathan Hinkle would have a 53-yard run down Broadway that he'd break into the second level, but he was stopped a yard short of the end zone. They gave him the ball in the very next play. This was with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And he punched it in, his 12th touchdown on his career, 6th of the season, and Hermiston was up 14-0. And at that point, we were in a commercial, and I looked at you and I said, well, this is really what Hermiston I kind of expected could do to this Bend team if they came out flying, and that's what they did. And after that touchdown, they kicked the ball off. They knocked the ball out of the hands of the Bend lineman, Riley Toman, who picked it up, who lost it. And Hermiston recovered it, and they had actually scooped it, and they were going to score. There was an inadvertent whistle. And so they actually took the fumble away, made Hermiston re-kick, and really since that point, Sonny, it has been mostly Bend. It has been all Bend. It has been all been. And you know, Eric, thinking back on it, even on the inadvertent whistle, the ball was fumbled. Hermiston should have got the ball where the inadvertent whistle was blown down at, not re-kicked. It should have been Hermiston's football on that thing, and from that point on, Bend had all the confidence in the world. They absolutely beat us up. There is no doubt about it. We had a first quarter where we pushed it, and that was it.
In the second quarter, it all started with Deshaun Neal picking off a pass acrobatically, beautifully done. And he had the ball, and he picked it off right around the 4, I guess is where they ended up saying he had it. And that was right at the end of the first quarter. Start of the second quarter, the first play was a handoff to Peter Earl trying to run left, and Hakan Jelcevic hit Peter Earl. To me, it looked like around the 1. And they said when Jelcevic drove him back into the end zone that was a safety. And it was the first points of the game for Bend, made it 14-2. Now on the ensuing drive, Bend in Hermiston territory would roll Simmons out. Simmons would try to rifle a pass into traffic, and Joey Gutierrez intercepted it, returned it 68 yards for a touchdown, 21-2. It did seem like order was restored right there.
Yeah, it did. It seemed like it, like and that's the one thing we did. I think we said, hey, we've got to restore it, and we went on cruise control.
And the way Bend answered back was a couple of plays after they took the kickoff, after the Gutierrez pickoff returned for a touchdown, which there was an unsportsmanlike celebration penalty on the touchdown. And so Hermiston kicked off from the 15. It gave Bend pretty good field position. They had it at the 39. It would be Cooper Simmons hooking up with Tyson Scott, 56 yards for the score. That made it 21-9. 4 minutes later, Scott again, this time a 20-yard reception from Simmons after a Hermiston turnover, and that made it 21-16. And then after Hermiston fumbled the kickoff after Scott's second touchdown reception, Andy Emerson would hit a 26-yard field goal. That gave us 21-19, which is where we stand here at the halftime break. It's halfway done. There's still a half of football to play. You got to figure that the big thing for Hermiston coming back out is they've got to sustain some offensive drives because the defense has been on the field too long.
They do, and both lines, the offensive line and the defensive line for Hermiston, have to start playing again. Absolutely have to start playing football again. Bend is beating Hermiston when we're on our offensive line, we're getting people caught up in the middle of the backfield back there. Andrew James is having to give up the ghost as quick as he possibly can just to try and survive. That's a cause, and they're not blitzing that many people. They're bringing one linebacker. We have enough linemen up there to go ahead and pick that up. We're just getting beat off the ball. Defensive line-wise, Bend is just out-muscling us. They're beating us off the snap count and driving us back, and that's where we're getting in trouble because now with the larger receivers, you went to the receiving things, big plays of 26 yards, 56, 32, and 20. All two jump ball situations where we tried to go ahead and it was just over the top of us instead of keeping them on our hip and making sure that they didn't have an opportunity to get the jump ball.
Halftime, Hermiston 21, Bend 19. You know, it is the station owner's birthday. It's Angela Purcell's birthday, and it is fitting that on her birthday it's homecoming night because it means I have to do things like this. Courtney Wheeler is a senior princess, the last one to come out. She is in a fine black evening dress, and she is being handed all sorts of flowers, and now she's also being handed a placard of the senior prince, Luke Walshley, who she is paired with. Maddie Jewell also in a black evening dress. Hers is different in style. She is another senior princess, and she is also out there with a picture of Joey Gutierrez, who is not able to be out there on the field because he's getting an earful in the locker room. And senior princess Mackenzie Hill. Hers is a sequined gray and black top, almost silver it looks like, with a black bottom to her dress, and she's out there with Antonio Campos, who is smartly in a gray suit. Happy birthday, Angela Purcell. That is the first time and probably the last time that I will indulge to that depth. Now the three senior princesses will hit their purple boxes of joy in front of them and see balloons, and the purple and gold balloons come out for Courtney Wheeler, who is the queen of the homecoming court. By the way, the rest of the court, Caden Gutierrez is the junior prince with Taylor Marie Green, the junior princess. Tyson Salinas is the sophomore prince. Jasmine Macias, the sophomore princess. Sam Schwarzy is the freshman prince, and Courtney West is the freshman princess. There are the fireworks. That's my cue. We're going to take a break on the Tom Denchel Ford Country Halftime Show. When we come back, Rich Harshberger, head coach of the Hermiston boys soccer team on AM 1360 KOHU.
What up, Hermiston High School? This is CS Sports Now, and I'm here live for the versus Hermiston High School and Bend High School. So my prediction is that Hermiston's going to win because they played harder teams and they have more experience than Bend. Why I think this? Because I believe in the Bulldogs and the pride and the courage in their hearts to win the game for Hermiston. Even though Bend has a 4-1 win-loss ratio, they have not faced the opponents that Hermiston has. That is why Hermiston is going to win the day and the game for HHS. Now, on to the players that I'm going to give highlights to. Players that I'm going to be talking about are Andrew James, a.k.a. Baby James, Jonathan Hinkle, a.k.a. Hinkleberry, and last but not least, A.J. Fernandez, a.k.a. Apple Jacks for breakfast. Andrew James is a quarterback and sometimes a LB. When he is on defense, let's go, Baby James, win us the game. In comes Hinkleberry. He is a RB when he's on the offense and is oh, dang it. Already said that one. Well, Hinkleberry, do you need some berries for those pancakes? He's mean, and he likes Apple Jacks for breakfast. He is A.J. Fernandez. He is on the offensive line, and he will protect his QB. Hopefully we can win the game and bring us home the gold. Have a great day. Football is at the game. How was that?
As we come to a close of the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show, Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you from Kennison Field at Bulldog Stadium in the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Hermiston 21, Bend 19. We look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. It is still Pendleton 7, Hood River Valley 6. That was the halftime score in Hood River. And at halftime, essentially it's over at Mountain View, 46-0. They'll run the clock against Ridgeview throughout the second half. Bulldogs will start with the ball here in the second half, attacking left to right on this cool mid-October evening. Homecoming night celebration has concluded. Courtney Wheeler, the queen of the court, and Andy Emerson has it teed up for Bend. Ready to put his lime green right boot to the pigskin from the 40-yard line right hash mark. Yabani Razone to the left, Deshaun Neal to the right, back around the 15 to return it, but it is a bounding ball, knocked down, loose, fumble right around the 36-yard line. There's a scramble for it. Hermiston has it.
Man.
In there, Jordan Ramirez was able to pick up the ball that was squealing around like a greased pig. Also on that scoreboard, it is a final from Vale, 46-0. The Vale Vikings defeat the Umatilla Vikings. Hermiston first down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Starting out the second half, Andrew James with Jonathan Hinkle behind him, two receiver options left and one to the right. James will hand off. It's a left side run. Keaton McCamey will pound his way up to the 45-yard line and gains 8 on the first play. His first carry of the night. How about the other rushing stats, Sonny?
For Hermiston, Andrew James, 4 rushes for 9 yards. Jonathan Hinkle, 4 for 59 yards and a touchdown. Peter Earl, 4 for 8 yards. And Deshaun Neal, 4, and then the fumble.
Second down and 2 from the 45. Pistol set again. And Hinkle takes a handoff, running left side. He's got a hole. He's across midfield into Bend territory. Down outside the hash marks around the 44-yard line. He runs into Hakan Jelcevic, who pulls him down, but not before an 11-yard scamper and a first down run for Hermiston. 40 seconds into this second half. Andrew James throwing the ball in the first half.
Andrew was 3 of 7 in the first half for 96 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception, just the tip ball.
First down and 10. Rolling snap. James will pick it up and run himself. Spin off of one tackler. Juke another at the 40-yard line. He is hammered over on the far sideline. Made a little bit out of nothing before Tyler Mannix was able to take him down. A 4-yard gain for Andrew James. His top target, I imagine, was Deshaun Neal in the first half.
Yeah, Deshaun, well, actually, Jonathan Hinkle caught 2 of his 3 passes for 12 yards, and Deshaun Neal, the 1 catch for 84-yard touchdown.
Second down and 6 from the 41-yard line. James with Peter Earl behind him. Turns and hands it to Earl right up the middle. Jump steps to his right, gets into the second level across the 35, and down into the Bend 34-yard line, where he bounces off of and is pulled down by Peyton Davis.
And a nice, that's just Hermiston's 8th first down of this game, Eric. To tell you how close this game has been and how Ben took control of, Ben had the ball for 40 total plays in that first half to Hermiston's 20, 184 yards to our 176.
First down and 10 from the 33-yard line. A snap to James. He'll turn in, handoff Earl again. Finds a hole out to the left side. He'll bust into the arms of Peyton Davis, and now the ball is knocked out. Ben says they have it. No signal yet. Hermiston was down. They will keep the ball after a run to the 29-yard line, picking up 4 for the Bulldog offense.
Well, Bend is definitely going after the football. If we're going to present it to them out like that, they're going to come and try and put a helmet on the ball, and they've done it very well. We got lucky that's our 3rd time of putting it down on the ground. We've lost 1 of them.
Second down and 6 to go from the 29. Earl into the flat right side. He'll catch the pitch from James. Break 1 tackle. Now Ball floated out, near sideline, picked up at the 25, scooped up. Davis moves to his right to miss one tackler. Luke Walshley will drive him down at the 47-yard line. Another ball put on the turf by the Hermiston Bulldogs, and Bend capitalizes on it again.
Yeah, that's too bad there because it did a great job of going ahead and making sure that we had, the football, and, you just can't give up the football like that.
Summit turned it over to Bend 5 times last week. Even though they outgained Bend 393 yards to 273 yards. Had 26 more plays than Bend. They lost in overtime 35-29. Every bounce went Bend's way a week ago. The bounces have been going Bend's way lately here. Handoff in the backfield. Jelcevic runs across midfield into Hermiston territory to the 48-yard line, picking up about 4 yards on the opening carry of this drive. Let's take a look at the running stats for the Bend Lava Bears.
Well, Bend had in the first half ran the ball 21 times for 35 total yards. The only one that Jelcevic was 6 for 17. And Peyton Davis was 6 for 13.
Here comes 2nd and 6, turn in hand. Again, Jelcevic in the backfield, breaks one tackle, bounces out to his right side, and finds a little bit of space to wriggle to the 45-yard line. 3-yard gain for Bend, and with 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter, they have a 3rd down and a 3 facing them, trailing by 2. Cooper Simmons will run from his sideline over on the far side, back to the huddle. Bend attacking right to left. They have controlled, not just having 20 more plays than Hermiston in the first half, the clock as well. This 3rd and short. Handoff right down Broadway for Kyle Reed. Bounces into the next level. Breaks off another tackle. Reed down the middle of the field. Gets inside the 30. Down inside the 25-yard line before he's finally pulled down by Andrew James and Tyler Rohrman all the way down to the 24.
Yeah, that time there, that was just an absolute bust for Hermiston. A 16-yard pickup by Reed for another 1st down.
Bend might not have got off the bus in the first quarter, but they are definitely going with a full head of steam now. 1st down and 10 from the Hermiston 24. Simmons under center with an I formation behind him. Again, Reed right up the middle. The fullback will dive down behind the right guard in the center to the 21-yard line, picking up 3.
Yeah, McCamey in on the tackle that time for Hermiston, and picking this thing up. Hermiston's stiffening up a little bit, but they've got to be able to go ahead and take control of this momentum that Bend has built.
Simmons did throw the ball a little bit more successfully in the first half than he did last week. How'd he do?
Simmons was threw the ball 17 times for a total of 149 yards.
2nd and 8. Play action to roll left side. Dumps it off into the flat. Peyton Davis has it at the 10, and he's pulled out of bounds by Joey Gutierrez, stepping out at the 6-yard line. Another 1st down for Bend with 6:58 on the clock in the third quarter. Down 21-19. The Lava Bears knocking on the door for their first lead of the night.
Davis's first reception of the night that time. So, the first time they've flooded him out of the backfield.
1st down and goal from the 6. Simmons will go under center with Reed and Jelcevic dotting the I. Tight end to the left. Jelcevic takes the handoff, running left, cuts back to his right, runs right into the big paws of Cody Weisner, who stops him after a 1-yard gain.
And that was the first time we've mentioned Weisner's name for a long time out there. He was pretty beastly in that first quarter, and then, like I said, the defensive lines for Hermiston just kind of went quiet.
2nd and goal from the 5. Tight end to the right this time. That's the wide side of the field. Jelcevic again takes a handoff, breaks away from one tackler at the goal line, pushes his way into the end zone. In and out of the arms of Hinkle and then into the arms of Neal, but it was once he was into the purple turf down on this field at Kennison, and Bend is in front. Five-yard touchdown run. Emerson to add the extra point. And Emerson's kick is up, and it is through. 26-21, 6:16 left in the third quarter. We'll take a break here on AM 1360 KOHU. .6:16 left in the third quarter. Bend in front for the first time tonight. Another squibbed kick that bounced and bounds and is finally picked up by Hermiston at the 25-yard line. And the pile just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, and finally the whistle blows. 26-21, Bend's lead.
Kind of wondering how long they were going to let this thing go in a rugby scrum like that, where Bend had us, tied up. Same thing where they pulled the ball out down here. I thought that was a little late whistle going there, but Hermiston's got to protect the football. Now they got to come out. They're fighting for their lives on this one, Eric.
An interception and 3 fumbles. First down and 10. Andrew James with a back to his left and a back to his right. 2 receiver options right. Hands off, Jonathan Hinkle running left side. Hinkle's got a big hole. He'll pull right over the top of a tackler and across the 40-yard line, runs all the way up to the 42. 15-yard gain for Hinkle. And maybe this is Jonathan Hinkle's time to take over.
That's Hinkle's 6th rush for 85 yards on the night right now, Eric.
About 470 rushing yards this season and 6 touchdowns. First down and 10 from the 42. James again hands to Hinkle, running left. Hinkle is tripped up. There was a big pile right where he was supposed to run. Isaac Caldwell, the defensive tackle, who's 280 pounds, pushed his way and kind of plopped right down in the middle of where Hinkle was supposed to run. And it ends up as a 1-yard loss. 5-point lead for Bend, their first lead of the game with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Deshaun Neal wide to the left side. 3 options right. Andrew James will roll to the right, looking to throw. Pumps, dumps it off. McCamey underneath has it to 45, and he rumbles up to midfield. Stops short of the first down marker, gaining 9.
Nice time that time by Andrew, and picking that thing up and showing that making the defender come and get him.
Third down and 2 for the Bulldogs at the midfield stripe. Hinkle behind James. Pistol set for the quarterback. Blitz coming. Hand off to Hinkle. Running right. He breaks a tackle. Breaks another. Cross the 45 into Bend territory. He's down to the 41-yard line. Bend is flying around there, hitting hard. Spencer Steckman was in there to finish off Hinkle, but Hinkle is starting to get low pad level and run hard for Hermiston.
Yeah, 9-yard pickup for the first down. It puts Hinkle at 92 yards right now, Eric. And you're right, this is where Hermiston has to take control. They've got to be able to go ahead and take some, air out of the ball.
First down and 10 from the 41-yard line. McCamey stands to the left shoulder. James Hinkle behind him again. First down and 10. Play action. Throw near sideline. Luke Walshley's got it. Luke Walshley gets a block from Gutierrez. 25-20. Walshley near sideline is pulled out of bounds by Marshall Davis, all the way down to the 16, they will say, is where Walshley stepped out of bounds.
25-yard pickup that time by Walshley, and another first down for Hermiston, and a good toss by Andrew James.
Hermiston's got it inside the red zone with 3:57 left in the third quarter, trailing 26-21. Walshley out wide to the left side, Neal to the right. Tight ends in each way. On 1st and 10, hand to Hinkle. Hinkle up the middle. Hinkle runs right into the arms of Peyton Davis, and he'll end up gaining 3 down to the 8. Bulldogs have put a drive together now. They've got to finish this drive now.
Yeah, they've got to have this. You know, they're down for the first time in this game, Eric, and they have got to get this one in the end zone.
Hinkle's to the left shoulder of James. Pistol set, 2nd and 7. Play action to throw. Lobbed right corner. Neal jump ball. It is incomplete. Flag comes out as flying in Mark Lindsay ran into Deshaun Neal. Had no idea where the ball was. And it's going to be pass interference against Bend. .303 left in the third quarter. Bend up by 5. Still waiting for the official call.
Interference on the defense, half the distance, repeat 2nd down.
It is half the distance to the goal line from the 13, so it brings it to the 7, which means it's not enough for a first down. It's not an automatic first down in high school. 2nd down and a half yard. James takes a snap, flags out. Hermiston just gave 5 yards back.
Yeah.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Left side of the line was on a different snap count. And this is the crazy thing, is it gives most of it back to the 12-yard line. 2nd down and 5 to go for Hermiston. Tail of the ball just across the 7-yard line, right hash mark. Walshley out wide to the left. Neal to the right. Hinkle and James in the backfield. James slaps his hands together. Gets a blitz from the near side. Hands to Hinkle. Hinkle jumps around one tackler going to his left. Edges inside and down to the 6-yard line. Again in there, Davis, their main tackler, the middle linebacker. The yardage, though, is very close to the first down. But apparently not quite there.
Reset the clock to 3 minutes.
Did they just flip that over to first down?
Oh, they are going to give the first down. So it's first down and goal. They got it. They said to the 6. They'll reset the clock to 3 minutes. And now whistles coming out from the near sideline. Is it first and goal or not?
Well,
it is first down and goal.
Yeah, the far side official from where they marked it off went ahead and said that it was a first down. And then when they spotted the ball, so
looks like we're going to go on safari here. An adventure with the Zebras to talk about the down and distance.
well, they finally motioned first down.
First down and goal from the 6, right hash mark. Hinkle to the right of James. James takes the snap. James keeps it. Hinkle fell down. James is scrambling in the backfield, spins around and is down at the 10, losing 4 yards on the play. Andrew James was running a read option, running to the right.
And Ben brought everybody, and Hermiston's line didn't block anybody.
This is a little thing, but that's an atrocious spot.
Wow.
That's a yard further back. And yards matter when you're down in the red zone. Second down and goal from the 11. Gutierrez and Neal wide to the left. McCamey right along with Walshley. Hinkle in the backfield with James. Second and goal. Play action. James to throw. To the left corner for Neal in the back of the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown. Bend is pleading that that ball was out. But it is a touchdown throw to Deshaun Neal, his second catch of the night. And with 1:55 left in the third quarter, Hermiston is back out in front. And Hermiston's going to leave the offense out there. They're going to go for 2. There's no difference between being up 27-6 and 28-6, to be honest. The way that the football math works, you might as well go and try to be up by 3. Especially with Emerson being a adept field goal kicker from about 30 yards and in. So the 2-point conversion. James, option right side, pitches it to Hinkle. Hinkle cuts back to his left. He's into the end zone. 2-point conversion makes it 29-26. Hermiston by 3 with 1:55 left in the third quarter. And Sonny, they finally put together a touchdown drive. Really, their first and only sustained drive of the night.
Yeah, it was. You know, when you come out and you're able to go ahead and put together 11 or 12 plays on that drive, you know, and Hermiston's line on 2 of those plays didn't get any push at all. So it was all, you know, whoever was running the ball, Jonathan Hinkle mostly. And then the nice pass over the top to Deshaun Neal down in the corner over there for the touchdown.
So Hermiston is back in front on this homecoming night game on AM 1360 KOHU Hermiston. We look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. End of 3 quarters, Echo 44, Joseph 20 over in Echo tonight. Vale did beat Umatilla 46-0 earlier on this evening. The last update from Hood River Valley, Pendleton had gotten a couple of third quarter scores, and after 3 quarters, their lead was 20-6 over the Hood River Valley Eagles. Ridgeview effectively lost to Mountain View in the first half. It was 46-0 at halftime. So running clock in the second half, and to be honest, they're going to be nearly done in that one. Deshaun Neal to kick this away with 1:55 left in the third quarter, and here are the scores: 29-26 Hermiston. High kick. Reed at the 16, moving out to the right side at the 20-25. Now the 30's outside the numbers at the 35, and he is ridden down to the ground right around the 40-yard line. In there on the tackle for Hermiston. Couple of fresh faces. Garrett Anderson, the senior, and Miguel Franco, the senior. Couple of reserve running backs for this Hermiston team. So Cooper Simmons in the Bend offense. Back on the ball. Hakan Jelcevic, a 5-yard touchdown run to finish off their last drive. I formation. Jelcevic dots the I behind Simmons, who turns and hands off. Jelcevic, dive play up the middle, breaks into the second level across the 45, and that's where he is stood up. In there on the stop, Jordan Ramirez along with Tyler Hunter. They'll share that one. 70-yard gain and a 2nd and 3 for Bend. Under 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Now Hermiston's got a 7 yards right up the middle. Eric, that's telling me that Bend's line is just absolutely blowing us off the ball.
Simmons, hands off again. Jelcevic running out to the right side. He will be tripped up right at the 50-yard line.
Deshaun Neal coming up hard that time on the trip up.
Ramirez in there as well on the stop that will stop Bend short of the first down marker, I believe. Although there's a long pondering thought about whether or not this is a first down. They haven't moved the markers. They haven't moved the down marker. They're going to call it 3rd down and inches. The junior quarterback goes under center. Turns and hands. Jelcevic running left side. Jelcevic will get enough to get the first down into Hermiston territory. Down he plunges to the 48-yard line, gaining 2. 27.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The clock is paused while the chains are set. Hermiston's lead is 29-26. The clock spins. Bend again, I formation. Just one receiver, Tyson Scott wide to the left side. In a one-on-one setup with Jordan Ramirez. Hand off to Jelcevic, bounces back to his right. No, this is Davis. Davis inside the 40, and he's pulled down at the 36-yard line. The stop made by A.J. Fernandez. And it's a big run for Bend. It'll move the chains again.
10-yard run by Davis.
5 seconds left. Bend hasn't broken the huddle. This will be the last. That will have been the last play of the third quarter. Hermiston 29, Bend 26. As we go to the fourth quarter, they'll flip the field, and there are going to be 12 more minutes of regulation in this one. Homecoming night in Hermiston, and Bend has given the Bulldogs everything they could want and more. We'll be back after this on AM 1360 KOHU. Davis for 3. First play of the fourth quarter, a 3-yard run by Marshall Davis behind the left tackle. And Bend has the ball, 2nd down and 7. At Hermiston's 33-yard line. Under center is Cooper Simmons. Simmons fakes a toss, hands off to Reed, coming over to the left side. And the fake toss trap play to the fullback gains 3 more down to the 30-yard line.
Great job by McCamey again for the second play in a row of getting that play in there and holding Marshall Davis to just 3 yards.
Ben's going to have a 3rd down and 4 from the 30. Trailing by 3. Davis dots the I. Simmons under center. Took throw. Deep ball, far sideline. It is underthrown, incomplete. Flags come out. In there on the coverage was it was Luke Walshley, intended for Tyson Scott. The ball hit Walshley.
So I don't
know if Walshley hit the man. That's the explanation he's asking for.
Yeah, I mean, just because the ball hits him when he's in between, the receiver and the pass.
Interference on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, results in a first down.
Wow.
Not a ton of histrionics from the Hermiston sidelines. But the ball has moved down to the 15 now. 1st down and 10 for Ben. 10:44 left in regulation, trailing 29-26. Hand off. It's Davis back to his left. Davis inside of the 10, pings off of one Hermiston defender and is pulled down by Jonathan Enkel at the 9-yard line.
6-yard pickup by Davis that time.
Jelsevic's back in the I formation. He dots it behind Reed. Jelcevic, handoff, running right, trying to get to the near sideline. Jelcevic bounces off of one tackler, and he is upended by Deshaun Neal to keep him out of the end zone. Jelcevic is down at the 2-yard line, gaining 6. Ben knocking on the door to get the lead back. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 29-26 Hermiston. It'll be the full house backfield. Davis to the right, Jelcevic to the left, Ariano in the middle. Simmons turns, hands off, Ariano right up the middle, dives for the goal line, he's in. The Ben touchdown puts the Lava Bears back in front for the second time tonight.
Well, that was a pretty methodical march downfield, although I don't understand, and we mentioned the pass interference, but I don't get that one. You're still allowed to defend the guy, and if the ball hits you and you don't touch the receiver.
Emerson has a kick go through, but the flag comes out from the near sideline. Offsides on Hermiston, so Emerson's going to have to kick again.
Well, if they go that way, are they going to run this thing now?
On the defense, half the distance, replay the try.
No, it's a 3-point lead right now, so it makes more sense to try to make it 4.
Yeah.
Because 5 is really no different than 4 in football math. But 3 is a big difference because Hermiston could tie the game. High snap. It bounces into the hands. Emerson has it. Emerson looking to throw, heaves it in the back of the end zone, picked off by Hermiston, and that you cannot return. So the Bulldogs force a failed conversion attempt, and it is a 3-point game, 32-29. 9:41 left in regulation. And now the Bulldogs offense last time, they were able to march down the field pretty easily. Can they do it again?
Well, they're going to need to. They have got to have it. I mean, Deshaun's got some leg in him, but I don't want to trust what that's going for on that, on trying to kick the field goal out.
Well, the way this game's going, there's 3 or 4 more scores in this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, it's which defense can get a stop.
Yep, it's a shootout.
Intermountain Conference, second place on the line, and the winner tonight will be guaranteed a postseason spot. Bend has won 5 straight. They're undefeated in the Intermountain Conference. Mountain View is going to be 7-0 and 5-0 going into next week. Bend and Mountain View still play. Last game of the season. 9:41 left in the fourth quarter. Bend back out in front, 32-29. Near side pooch, Rorman picks up at 25. Rorman comes back to his left, gets a block. He's across the 30, but no more further than that, where he is pulled down by Steckman. Steckman has made himself a presence defensively quite a few times here tonight.
Well, now the Bulldogs got to get this thing going. They have they got 69 yards to go, and just need to just be steady right now.
9:34 left in the fourth quarter, trailing 32-29. Trailing for the second time tonight. Hermiston has led 3 times. Handoff. Left side run, bouncing back to his right is Hinkle, and down to the 39-yard line he will run.
Stop for bin number 26, Spencer Steckman.
8-yard pickup that time by Hinkle. A good run, a good push right up the middle off the right side.
Second down and 8. Ben's loss this season was in the season opener at Central, 35-6. Central gashed them for a lot of runs up the middle. 2nd and 12. Play action. Throw out to the right side. And Walshley's got it in the flat. Walshley's across midfield. Ooh. And he is shoved down by Peyton Davis.
That Gutierrez looked like.
You're right, Gutierrez instead, but up to the 49-yard line. 3 minutes and 2 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. Bend's lead is 3. First down and 10 from the 49. Snap to James. James keeps it on a quarterback option run out to the right side. He breaks one tackle, breaks another far sideline, stops, and he's hit at the 41-yard line out of bounds.
James on the keeper.
8-yard gain.
To the 41.
Well, that's what Hermiston needed. They just need to keep control of this football right now and keep moving it down. Run the time off the clock, and you know what we need to do is punch this one in and learn how to play the pass defense.
Second down and 2 from the 41 in Bend territory. Pistol set for James. Hinkle behind him. High snap. James pulls it down. Hands off to Hinkle. Running left. Hesitation play. Hinkle hesitates. Gets around a defender. Runs over the top of another. Keeps his feet churning down inside the 35. Pulling Bend Lava Bears down to the 32-yard line. Hinkle runs 9 yards and moves the chains again for the Bulldogs.
Jonathan Hinkle.
32-29. Bend is in front. .8:22 left. The clock is spinning here in the fourth quarter. Peter Earl behind James. Toss play. Earl running right side. Earl makes a man miss. He's at the 30. Earl pulled from behind and gets to the 27-yard line, gaining 5. Hinkle comes right back in.
Nice job that time by Earl. He was contacted in the backfield the first time, swiped the hands away from the tackle, and was able to pick up the 5 yards right up the middle.
Second down and 5. McCamey, the H-back, will stand to the right shoulder of Andrew James, who's in a pistol set. Jonathan Hinkle behind him. Second and 5. Play action. James to throw. Deep ball, right side. Nobody on Neal, and he's into the end zone. Waltz is in from 27 yards out, and Hermiston's back in front.
Neal's third catch of the night, all for touchdowns, Eric. That was all set up by the power running of Jonathan Hinkle and Neal, and Jonathan Hinkle and Earl right up the middle. They took the play action fake up the middle to McCamey and Neal all by himself.
Now Deshaun Neal to kick the extra point. Holds down, and the kick is blocked.
Way too long.
Out of the hold of Andrew James. Blocked PAT means it's a 3-point game, 35-32 with 7:32 left in the fourth quarter. Let's take a break on AM 1360 KOHU. From the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, I'm Eric Olson alongside Sonny Leby. 7 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in regulation on homecoming night down on Kennison Field here at Bulldog Stadium. Hermiston is back in front 35-32. Deshaun Neal has caught his third touchdown reception of the night. Now he kicks off a squibber, rolling down to the 30-yard line, and it is going to be returned across the 40. That's about where Daniel Winters gets stacked up. And Bend's offense is back out on the field. The last 2 drives for Bend have been methodical, and they've been able to finish off drives with touchdown runs by Hakan Jelcevic and Max Ariano on the last one. The returner, Winter, is down after the kick, and he's pulled his helmet off as well.
That's huge. That's one of their defensive linemen and their tight end that that they run in there, the tight end and defensive back.
They are without, as far as key guys go, Nate Kelly, a safety, is out. Jackson Intekoffer over on the far sideline. He's a receiver and a cornerback. He is out. His right leg is in all sorts of bandages, and he's on crutches tonight. Cale Shields, a junior cornerback and wide receiver. Wyatt Utter, the sophomore quarterback, is not here tonight, although that just could be he played JV yesterday. Not a whole lot of any pressure being put on that left leg for Winters as he comes off, and his impact is greatest at defensive end for Bend.
Yeah, he's lived in our backfield, putting pressure on Andrew James back there, and now they have a new tight end in number 45, Reeser.
Trevin Reeser was the intended receiver when Deshaun Neal intercepted the pass at the 5-yard line. Hermiston's got 2 interceptions of Cooper Simmons tonight. First down and 10 from the 42. Handoff, Jelcevic hops over a fallen defender, and he is pulled down at the 44-yard line, gaining just 2 on the play, running into the hands of Jonathan Hinkle.
And great job that time by Hinkle and by Cody Weisner on the assist that time when he got him up in the air. That's what Hermiston needs to do. They've got to just make these guys slowly try and move this ball down the field.
2nd and 8. Simmons, I formation behind him, turns, hands off. This is Davis. Davis comes to the right across the 45 and down at the 47-yard line. Marshall Davis gets pulled down by Andrew James. 3rd down and 5 with 6:30 left in the 4th quarter, and Hermiston ahead by 3. A stop here could be monumental. And we'll learn a lot about Matt Craven if Hermiston does get a stop. Matt Craven, we learned this. He knows how important this is. He'll call a timeout. 6:18 left in the 4th quarter. Hermiston 35, Bend 32. It was 21-2 at one point in the middle of the 2nd quarter. And Bend seized this game by the scruff of the neck for the final 6 minutes of the first half and made it just a 2-point game going into the locker room. But Hermiston led from start to finish in the first half. Bend would score first in the 2nd half, and they would take their first lead of the game. Hermiston would answer right back on Deshaun Neal's 2nd touchdown catch of the night from Andrew James. And then at the start of the 4th quarter, Bend would again, on the ensuing drive, answer with Max Ariano's 2-yard touchdown plunge to give Bend their 2nd lead of the night. Hermiston would take where we're at right now, their 3rd lead of the game with Neal's 3rd touchdown reception. And 2 of the 3 receptions tonight, he has been as open as a sophomore who you've never seen on game film. 3rd down and 5 from the 47. Toss play, right side run. To the edge, Davis, he'll put his shoulder down, he'll rumble across midfield, and he will get the first down yardage he needs to the Hermiston 48. They mark it all the way down to the 47-yard line.
Davis for another rushing first down, 4 yards that time for Davis on the play. Joey Gutierrez coming up and really making a great hit. Once again, we just didn't seal that corner, but we did a good job of limiting the yardage.
First down and 10, just Marshall Davis in the backfield. 3 receiver options left. Simmons is going back and rolling left to throw. He will quickly lob it downfield, caught by Scott. Scott across the 35, shoved out of bounds. Check that, not Scott, but Lucas Musgrave, but down to the 33 he goes. And Bend moves the chains, one of their first passes here in the second half.
Yeah, 14-yard pickup by Musgrave that time. And, that was just too easy, Eric. There was nobody close to him out there.
5:46 left in regulation. 35-32 Hermiston. Simmons under center. Turns, hands off, Marshall, running left side. Marshall Davis pulled down in the outside corner. And getting out to the edge, it was Jonathan Hinkle who made the stop. No gain on the rush.
Nice job that time of Jonathan Hinkle reading that, and a good push by the defensive line and making Davis have to bounce it outside a little bit, allowing Hinkle to come in behind.
Bend had 20 more plays than Hermiston in the first half. The Hermiston defense has been on the field a lot. Run, Davis up the middle. Davis finds the second level. He's tripped up by Hinkle and James. Down to the 27-yard line, however. Picks up 6 on the play. 5 minutes left. 3-point Hermiston lead. Not quite into Andy Emerson's range yet. On this 3rd down and 4, Marshall Davis dots the I. Simmons, long count, fakes it. Hands off to Reed, running left. Reed's got the edge out to the outside, and he'll be pulled down at the 15-yard line. Getting out there to make the stop for Hermiston was Jonathan Hinkle yet again.
Yeah, Hermiston has got to get a little bit better on this. That was a nice little counter move.
First down and 10 from the 17-yard line. Handoff, Davis probes through the middle. He will fall forward to the 13-yard line, picking up about 4 on the run. We take a look through Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. 32-6 the final. Hood River Valley falls to Pendleton. The Buckaroos 4-3, 3-2 in the IMC, alone in 4th place in the conference. Simmons to throw, end zone. Rohrman battling with Scott. Flag comes out as Scott goes tumbling to the turf. Underthrown yet again. It's going to be pass interference on Hermiston. They don't realize you can call it on the offense as well.
Yeah, when Rohrman's in the middle like that, and they're, are they going to call it on the offense? They're calling it on the offense.
Interference on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Well, they did figure it out, Eric. Break there, because you could not have played any better defense than Rohrman did on that play. You can't help it if the ball's underthrown. Receiver still does not have the, does not have the right to push his way back through the man, the defender, to come back to get the ball.
Push, that was kind of like a push-pull move, and then he needed to go for the single leg.
Yeah, it was a good Colbray takedown move.
3:48 left, and that moves it back to the 28. Second and a country mile. Simmons, play action, rolling right to throw down the field. Picked off by Deshaun Neal at the 13. Neal breaks a tackle to 20s at the 25. Caught from behind, and the ball flies out, but it flies into the sideline, and Hermiston gets the stop on the Deshaun Neal interception, his second pick of the night.
$18-yard return that time by Deshaun, and you could see Deshaun had him sized up all the way down and kept looking at him. He looked at him, he looked at him. When he let it go, playing that center field, he just came in and picked it up.
Back on the clock.
So the Bulldogs have a ball with 3:40 left and a 35-32 lead. Andrew James in a pistol set on 1st down and 10 from the 32. Turns and hands, it's Hinkle running left. Hinkle runs over the top of a linebacker. Davis took the brunt of it.
That's being hungry there. That's a nice 5-yard pickup, almost 6. Give him 5 yards on the pickup. That's just being hungry. That time, Bo Blake and Fernandez just absolutely lit their guys up on that line.
Flag out on the 2nd down and a 5. There was going to be another handoff.
Offsides to Ben, it looked like.
We got a dead ball. Encroachment on the offense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
So Luke Walshley was lined up in the neutral zone.
This guy over here motioned that it was against Bend for being offsides. Oh, well.
Moves the ball back essentially to the original line of scrimmage after the Deshaun Neal interception, his 2nd of the night. 2nd down and 10 from the 32. 2:50 in the clock spinning. Play action, throw near sideline. Walshley has it at the 30, 35, trying to stay in bounds. And he will be pulled out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
6-yard pickup that time by Walshley.
3rd and about 5.
3rd down and 4 at the 38. Bend has 2 timeouts left. The clock is paused because Walshley came out of bounds on that play. Hinkle behind James. Haven't seen a lot of read option for the quarterback. Blitz coming up the middle. It's a speed option on the right side. James keeps it, has a 1st down. He's at the 45. Hit from behind as he crosses midfield, then hit late. And A.J. Fernandez is flinging his hands in the air, saying, where is the flag? Because Andrew James was hit after he was down onto the ground. Should have been a late hit penalty. Didn't fly out.
Ball spot the 49-yard line.
14-yard pickup for a 1st down for Hermiston, Eric, and that was huge for Hermiston. They needed that one to make sure that now Bend has to start burning timeouts.
.236 left in regulation. 35-32 Hermiston. James with McCamey to his left shoulder. Hinkle a step behind him to his right shoulder. Ben showing a blitz off of the edge. On 1st and 10 from the 49. James looks back towards the back judge, waiting for the arm to go into the air to signal 5 seconds. Now James will get into his stance, take the snap, keep it, throw right side. It is picked up by Walshley. No, Gutierrez, he bounces outside at the 40. 35, he comes back to his left, and he is pulled down from behind, ripped down by the shoulder pads by Austin Jones. Joey Gutierrez had a 68-yard interception return for a touchdown earlier tonight. Now he's got the ball down to the 32-yard line for Hermiston.
17-yard pickup by Gutierrez. A nice little stutter step that time of a stop and go to make that first hitter, the first tackler for Ben, miss on the attempt.
1st and 10 from the 32. What about going for Neal on play action? James settles himself in, waiting for the signal, running, clock down, minute 43 and still spinning, looking at the back judge, waiting for his right hand to go into the air. Now it goes into the air, 90 seconds left when this snap comes. It'll be a handoff to Hinkle. Hinkle running left. Hinkle is pulled down. The ball comes out, but they whistled it down.
Yes,
they whistled it down, and Ben thought they had forced it out. Ben thought they had taken the ball, but Hinkle is down before Marshall Davis could rip the ball out, and it stays in Hermiston's possession, no gain.
Wow, the break there. I mean, Hinkle it looked like he was going down as they're ripping, but they're going to start ripping the ball out from now on. That's their whole defense of Ben's right now.
Bend will call a timeout. We'll take it as well. Minute 23 left in the fourth quarter. Hermiston 35, Bend 32 here on AM 1360 KOHU.
Ooh.
Hermiston 35, Bend 32. Second down and 9. Bend has 1 timeout left. James slaps his hands together, hands off McCamey running right. McCamey will dive down the middle. McCamey will get himself to about the 27-yard line. Now the whistles go, and Bend will call their final timeout. With a minute 16 remaining. Hermiston by 3. Homecoming night should end up a Hermiston celebration. Bulldogs run it on 3rd and 5 and don't convert. They'll be able to get the clock down to about 45 seconds remaining, and then they're down inside their Bend 30, so they would go for it on 4th down and short anyways.
So is Bend out of timeouts then?
Yes.
They are out of timeouts. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly. I would run it here and run it a second time. And you know, Eric, last play, had they not decided to hand it off, which it was a better idea, handing it off, they had Walsley one-on-one with that defender that was, again, 12 yards off the line of scrimmage away from him. Just a quick stand and throw. He 8-10 yards on the play.
Third down and 5. Hinkle behind James. McCamey, the H-back to the right. 2 receiver options right, 1 to the left. Turn and hand it. It's Hinkle up the middle. Hinkle busts into the second level. Hinkle's got the first down. The ball comes out, but Walshley's there to fall on top of it. They will say Hinkle was down anyways at the 17-yard line. It moves the chains. It gives Hermiston a new set of downs, and it allows the Bulldogs to go into the victory formation with 1:08 left. Hermiston, who was up 21-2 at one point in the first half, is going to survive this homecoming scare from the Bend Lava Bears, win their 5th straight against Bend, and vault themselves into 2nd place in the Intermountain Conference by virtue of a tiebreaker.
Eric, that last play, the Hermiston interior 3 from center and 2 guards were 5 yards down the field pushing Bend defenders. Hinkle following.
Snap to James. He'll kneel on it. 40 seconds left. Hermiston will have to snap it one more time, I believe. It kind of depends how quickly they set it. Okay, so they will need to snap one more time with about 4 seconds left in the game. Bend starts to move their guys towards midfield for the half-field handshake. The kneel is done. Running right down the middle, the linebacker, Peyton Davis, ran right over the top of Jacob Leby. Hermiston going to midfield. Bulldogs have a win, 35-32. They've won 4 in a row, and they snapped the Lava Bears' 5-game win streak. It is celebration on homecoming night here in Hermiston. It wasn't easy. Deshaun Neal